It's gonna happen, just you watch.
Like the morning sun inviting the dawn to break. Beautiful. Like the joy that...
Hi everybody, it's Wednesday, December 12th, and I am here to give you guys a little update. So yesterday I was in really good spirits in the morning and I made that update for you and I had posed those questions. I have not had a single second to put my answers in because I was actually at the emergency room last night. Not anything dramatic happened really, but Wren hasn't been really feeling all that well, and he went to school yesterday morning and he was there for like an hour and he started feeling really sick, like he was gonna throw up, and he packed up all his stuff and he got on the bus and he immediately had to run right off the bus because he was throwing up so violently. So luckily he didn't end up throwing up on the bus. He like got on and then got back off and then threw up. And then he ended up walking back home, which it's gotta be at least an hour walk from where his studio is. He ended up walking back home. He dropped his stuff off and then he called me and was like, I'm feeling really sick. I just threw up. I need to go to the doctor. And so I was like, of course, I was here, you guys know. And so he walked to the doctor's office and he asked if they had any appointments. And they were like, well, the first appointment's available at 3, and it was like 1 o'clock when he got there. So he sat down in the waiting room and he called me, and his speech was very slurred. It was like, it almost sounded like he was drunk, but at the same time it was like he had just run like a few miles because he was like out of breath and slurring his voice. It was really weird. And then he was like, I'm gonna get some water, and he stood up and then I heard a thud and I was like, Wren? It was really scary, and it was like 2 o'clock, I guess, at this time. And so he had passed out at the doctor's office and the doctors had called 911, and so he was rushed to the hospital last night, and his mother was frantically calling me and wasn't helping. It's just really stressful, you know, someone you love gets hurt or you don't really know what's going on with them, you know, like, it would have been one thing if someone would have picked up the phone and been like, he just passed out, you need to get to the hospital, but it was like thud, beep, 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 you know, it was like a horror movie. It was so scary. So I went to the emergency room and I waited in the waiting room for almost an hour before they let me go talk to him. I was like going up there every 20 minutes. I was like, is there an update? Is he here? Is he okay? Like, the girl kept saying, oh, I don't have that information. Oh yeah, it does look like he's here, but I don't know if he's okay. I'm sure he's fine. And so it just made me freak out even more because she kept like calling back to the room, and it just made me feel like something really bad had happened, and they were like trying to resuscitate him in the back room, and it was just scary. So I finally kind of forced my way back there after an hour of waiting, and Wren was he was just laying on the bed, like hooked up to an IV, and they had drawn a whole bunch of blood and given him shots and medicine and stuff. And so basically I was there from like, I got there about 2:30, I think, from the taxi ride. Waited an hour, and we were back there, like he was able to talk and drink water and stuff after a little while, but we were back there until like 6-ish, I think. So the test came back and there wasn't really anything wrong with him. It was just, he's got a really bad gastrointestinal flu or virus or something. So there's no real medication they could give him, and I don't really know what caused him to pass out. I mean, because the doctor said that he was hydrated, that he was fine. I think it was just that he's been so worked to the bone. You know, he's in the architecture program, and that school that he goes to is really intense. So anyway, I went to the pharmacy and got some medicine for him. He's on a liquid diet for 24 hours, so I got him a bunch of Gatorade and water and Jello and applesauce and just stuff like that, you know, stuff that he could eat, some soup. So I walked him home, and he basically just like fell into bed, and I was like, every half hour or so I'd go over and kind of like, okay, I need you to sit up, I need you to take some Gatorade, just, you know, just to keep his electrolytes up, because he hadn't eaten anything all day. Then at like 9:30, I woke him up, and I'd made some hot chicken broth for him, and I just poured it in a big coffee mug, and I like woke him up a little bit, and he sat up and he drank that, and he was like, oh, this tastes really good. So I think that he really needed that. I was really glad I woke him up. Basically, all of that is why I was feeling really stressed out, and I've been, on top of all that, I've been feeling really stressed out lately anyway, because of school. Oh, I missed school last night, by the way. I mean, I had class last night, and then I was supposed to have class next Tuesday, but I shared with you guys that I'm traveling. I'm going to be leaving San Francisco next Tuesday morning, so I had let my teacher know, and he was like, okay, no problem. You can miss one class, and since you're traveling, it can be excused. And of course, here I am frantically trying to get in touch with my teacher last night, and I don't know, I sent him pictures of like Wren's hospital bracelet, and like I have the nurse write me a doctor's note for missing school, and I've been feeling really stressed out on top of that already, like financial stress and work. Like because of the financial stress, I've been trying to work more. I've got school stress. I've been trying to figure out what to do about last night, and lots of homework. It's toward the end of the semester now, so I've got a paper due tonight, and huge assignments due on the weekend, and then I have more stuff I have to do next week. So and then I have to pack, and there's just so much. I mean, I know it doesn't seem like a lot. I got denied financial aid for the spring, and so that right there is a huge burden, because I'm not really sure. I have 3 classes left, you know, I mean, I have 3 classes left. On top of all of that stupid stuff, I have to go to this court thing. I don't really know if you guys know about the public transportation here in the city, but there's something called a clipper card. It's basically a little card that you reload, basically have an automatic reload on my card, and so it automatically takes money out of my account when I get low. And I got on the bus like a month ago, and I was on the phone with my mom, and I just completely spaced out and did not tag my clipper card. And it wasn't on purpose. You know, I was on the phone with my mom, and I was just a little distracted. We were kind of talking about the situation of Adley moving home, and like, where am I going to be at Christmas? And so I was kind of like, not upset, but just distracted, and I don't know, a little upset, I guess. But anyway, I got on the bus, and I sat down, and I rode like 2 blocks, and I looked up, and at the corner there we have these things in the city called muni police, and basically they get on the bus and they make sure that everybody's paying their fare. Like, everybody is, you know, being treated equally, and everybody deserves to pay, even though there are so many people that don't pay. And since I had a reloadable clipper card, you know I'm not a bad citizen. You know, I pay, I have a reloadable clipper card anyway. So I noticed that they were standing there, and I was on the phone with my mom, and I was like, oh my god, did I pay? And I'm listening to her talk, and I'm like, I can't remember if I tagged my clipper card. So I took it out of my purse, and I tagged it, and I paid for it. And I guess one of the muni police saw me do that, and they pulled me off the bus, and I was like, Mom, I've got to call you back. I can't believe I'm getting in trouble right now. But I understand, you know, they have to treat everybody equally, and even though I had just paid, I got a ticket for $150 for Clipper fare evasion, and the woman that gave me the ticket said, well, if you would have never seen us and you would have never tagged your card, then you never would have paid for your bus ride. I never have had this happen before. I have a reloadable Clipper card. It's not that I evade paying. I pay between $4 and $10 a day in transportation because I don't have a car. You know, on the days that I go to the East Bay, I probably spend almost 20. So between like the bus and BART and then AC Transit, I spend so much money in transportation. And she was like, well, I don't have any proof of that. So she wrote me a ticket for $150. And then I was basically in shock because I've never had that happen to me before, because I've never not paid. Every time some muni police get on, I am like, oh, here you go. Like, I'm not afraid because I know that I've paid. And when I noticed that I had made an error and not scanned my card, then I tagged it because I realized that I hadn't paid, but unfortunately it was just too late. Anyway, so I wrote a letter to detest it, and I wrote the story about what happened, and they sent me a response back saying that my story wasn't valid and that my argument wasn't valid and that I still needed to pay. So to detest it even further, I have to go to court, like this muni court or something. And so I called the Clipper card people, and I asked to have a history of all the times I've tagged my Clipper card within the past like 4 months. And it's like hundreds and hundreds of dollars I have spent on public transportation, and it's every single day. It's like 4 times a day I tag my Clipper card, and twice, oh God, I just cannot believe it happened. So anyway, so I have to do that. I have to do that this Friday, and it's just another stress, and it's just in the back of my head, and I'm like, fuck, I have to do this before I go. Well, the whole reason why I was even telling you all of this stressful stuff, I'm sure you guys are all stressed out right now if you're still watching. The reason I was telling you guys all of this is because last night when I went to the store to get Wren a bunch of stuff, I ended up getting some Morningstar chicken buffalo wings, which are like the soy chicken, like it's not actual chicken, it's like vegetarian. And then I got 2 huge boxes of macaroni and cheese. I was just so stressed out. I was like, I'm gonna go home and binge. So I opened up the box of the chicken wings, and I put them all in the oven. I think there was probably like 12, which maybe isn't that much, but put them on the tray and baked them and made 2 huge boxes of macaroni and cheese. And I'm like, I'm gonna eat all of this. I'm just gonna drown my stress right now in food. And I ended up putting all of the chicken wings on my plate and getting a huge bowl of macaroni and cheese. And I ate 3 of the chicken wings and like half the bowl of mac and cheese. For some reason, I was like fully planning on binging, and I ended up not. I don't think I've ever stopped myself from binging. And I'm not even really sure what stopped me from binging last night. I don't know. Maybe all of this knowledge that I've acquired from reading these books and in therapy has somehow sunk in on a really deep level. And so when I got full, I just stopped. I felt really disgusted with myself after I ate what I ate, but I didn't eat as much as I had planned. Like, I basically put half the thing of, so I put the half of the bowl that I had left of mac and cheese back in the pot, and I put it in a container and I put it in the fridge, and then I stuck the little chicken wings in a little Ziploc bag, and there was like 9 of them left. And I have no idea how I stopped myself. I can't even explain it. It was like, deep down I knew that I didn't want to do that. Anyway, it's gonna be great because I love those little chicken wing things. Tonight I'm gonna cut them up on a salad, and I'm gonna have like a little buffalo chicken salad. Anyway, so in a weird way, I guess I am kind of proud of myself for not going all out and binging like crazy last night, because I was planning on eating all of the chicken things, and I was planning on eating all of the macaroni and cheese, and it was so much mac and cheese. Like, I have a huge Ziploc container, like a huge Tupperware filled with mac and cheese, and I don't know how, I still, right now, I'm like in disbelief that I didn't binge because I was so stressed out. I was thinking about the money, I was thinking about Wren being sick, and I was thinking about missing school, and I was just everything. So I don't know how that happened, but I don't know. It's good, I guess. You know, it's really great that some of this information has sunk in, and that when I have the intention of binging, something is kind of triggered and makes me stop. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate your support, and if you are still watching this video, I give props to you, because I think that this has probably been about 10 minutes of me just complaining about my life, and in all honesty, I am very happy with my life. I just need to get a few things figured out. Don't we all, you know. Anyway, I will probably see you either tomorrow or Friday for another update. I'm going to answer those questions for you guys, those questions by Janine Roth. I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you for your support, and I will see you very soon for another update. Bye.
She is unstoppable.